Hey there, this is Christy with Art of Awakening, and this is just a quick one today. I wanted to share with you something that happened just right on the equinox last week. And I've been really busy. This past weekend was a holistic fair that I've been involved in organizing, so I just haven't had time to post, but it was kind of cool. And especially because it was a follow-up to a video that I posted on inner sovereignty about an experience with wolf. Posted that about a week or two ago, and this really is connected with that, I felt. So thought it would be kind of fun to share. So I was in the woods, right, very close to where the other incident happened, and was on this trail in a section of the trail system that I wasn't all that familiar with, but I was planning to go around this little lake, and the trail took me up this hill, and when I got up on the hill, there were ravens up there, and which isn't unusual because there are a lot of ravens in that neck of the woods. But as I looked up, I saw this raven, and it was just playing in the wind. It was just like it would allow the wind to kind of buffet it up, and then it would sort of drop its, kind of fold its wings and just fall, and then just kind of zip up and down in the wind. It was just really fun watching it play, and it had a mate too. There were two of them that were flying around there, and I'm going to be posting about Raven in more in depth pretty soon. But so I don't want to talk too much about it. But Raven is an animal that is it's got some a little bit ominous connotations, and some people just find that you consider them to be kind of a dark or less savory animal, but they've also got some pretty human qualities. They're very smart, and they're very playful as well. So, and again, raven is also considered a messenger. And this one really, as I was watching these ravens, they really did have this message for me. And it's pertaining to this ascension process that we're all on. And they were really telling me, you know what, you're human and you've got a dark side, and that's okay, but you can still just enjoy yourself. And what happened was as I was watching these ravens, and just from the position I was in, they were right up, and it looked like they flew right into the sun. And as I watched them, they disappeared in the sun, and I could not see them for a long time. It really looked like they just flew right into the sun. It was just beautiful. And so this message was, yeah, you're human. And just to accept and acknowledge that, and to go on and live a life of joy anyway. And in that, there's the ascension, right? And that you're still ascending. So it's to accept, not to go down into it, but to acknowledge and accept, that life isn't all love and light, that there's a dark side, but then to choose the light and to move up into it. So they gave me that message, and it was beautiful. But there's an epilogue to this, because I was so taken with this message that I just wasn't really watching where I was going, and I ended up going sort of in a dead end. Or it sort of dead-ended at this lake, and I realized that this wasn't the trail I was planning to take. So I backtracked, and at that point I was like, you know what, maybe I got the message that I was here to get, and it was all right. So I decided to go back to the car. Well, I was walking, and my dog was kind of tired because she's getting old, and I was like, oh, so I was actually looking forward to just going back at that point. And then I realized that I had been thinking so much about this raven experience that I wasn't really watching where I was going. And I ended up on the trail that I had originally planned to go around the lake, which was taking me like 3 times longer than it would have taken just to go back. Well, it was okay because it was a beautiful day. It was in the 40s. It was, the warm It's been a really cold, long, hard winter with lots of snow. And I was walking along this path in the woods, and there must have been 1 or 2 feet at least of packed snow on these paths. And the thing about these paths is that, on a warm day like that, if you stay on the path, you're fine. But if you step off of it, you go knee deep or thigh deep into snow. And so at one point I saw where somebody had gone before me, and there was this big old footprint, like way deep in the snow. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. So I thought I would document it. So I was like really focusing in on this thing, and I took a picture of it. And as soon as I stepped forward, and I thought I was stepping out of the path, but as soon as I stepped forward after that, I just suddenly, my foot went off, and I just pitched forward and fell. Like the ice was like really sharp with these sharp ice crystals. I cut my hand, and it was like, oh my gosh, here's another message. And the woods is just totally talking to me. Like the path itself was the message. Um, I had been given this message that I'd come for, and then got so caught up in it that I got up in my head and I wasn't paying attention, and I ended up dead ending and backtracking and losing my way. And then I was like focusing, instead of focusing on the path, I was focusing on what happens when you step off of it. And that's when I just pitched head over heels. And so this message it was just, it's just really timely, because sometimes when we make, at least myself personally, like if I've learned a spiritual lesson, sometimes there's this tendency to, think we're so enlightened and all this, and that's when the trickster starts to really really come forward and pull us back down, on our butts again. And so this message is, yes, we're ascending, and yes, this is beautiful, and and yes, but it's still super important to stay on the path, always, 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 to stay aware and to stay on the path. So so this is a very, very humbling lesson, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, because hopefully, hopefully maybe it will help both myself to, hammer this lesson into my, kind of hard head, and maybe to somebody else too, to just stay humble on the path, and stay aware. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this, and as always, I so appreciate your likes and your subscribes, your shares. And just to let you know again, I will be doing a daily upload in the month of April to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. I'm so grateful to you all, and I just wanted to do something to thank you for following me. It's I'm just, again, I'm really grateful. Love you all. So have a great evening, and I'll catch you again soon.